everyone, welcome to the next video, and here we go. Everyone, today I would like to a little bit show you the basic kind of way of sketching cars. And I choose for this the Mini Cooper because it's maybe the most easy is kind of rectangular, as you can see, the boxes and everything. So anyway, we can start with this. And I'm going to draw not necessarily in perspective, but with parallel lines, so I kind of axonometrically. And after we're going to sketch briefly one a little bit much more in perspective. So the best view, of course, first, before you start, of course, drawing this, and my tool today going to be Pilot, Fineliner. I have two of them. One is a little bit thicker line because it's fresher, but the other is a little bit older. So you always keep the older fine liners when they barely draw, as they're going to be good for, because those are markers, yes? You cannot erase them necessarily. So you have to be careful when you sketch with this kind of pens, because they, if you do the bad lines or something, you might, it's not like with the pencil, you can, or any other dry medium, you can somehow, take the medium out and correct your sketch. With this, you rather don't, you don't have this possibility. But anyway, in design, most of the time we sketch with the fine liners of all kinds. So that's the one which is the most convenient, because the Pentel, Pilot, sorry, is the Pilot company, and because you can actually with water, you can do some effects there later. So first of all, before we're going to start drawing this Mini Cooper, so just look. The good thing is to look and kind of digest a little bit its forms. Yes, so you can see that the part of the base of the car, comparison to the cabin, is much more higher. Yes, is one thing. You have two wheels. Each of these wheel, as you know, normally in one square, yes, in one square, you can perfectly well circumscribe and circle, isn't it? So you have for sure two squares here, if you would like to, think in the analytic method of, measuring the proportions here. So we have two squares for sure. And now, if we take the measurements, yes, like that, for example, approximately, so we go approximately 1 square more, 2 square and half approximately. So what we have, the distance between these two wheels, we have 2 squares and a half, less or more, yes? And here you have approximately 1/3 of the square, yeah, because if you take this space and you go to this, there will be approximately 3 times, yes? And of course, at the end is almost nothing, because on the square up, you have actually the back, actually slightly, you can do it intuitively 1 millimeter more or so, and go with this, angle. Now, the cabin angle, the upper part, if you put vertically the pencil and horizontally, you will see that this angle is 45 degrees, yes? So basically, this angle is approximately so, yes, from the front, okay? In the back, you have a little bit less, it's maybe 35 or so, yes? So it's going to be kind of, a little bit less on the back. In the back, you're going to have approximately something of this kind, yes, for the back. So without, kind of thinking what you see, it's going to be complex to draw it, yes, by chance, So, and now front, as you can see, you have the top of the roof of the cabin is smaller. It's smaller than the base, yes? And if you look at the top, yes, you can see it that the top, the roof, is much more smaller. You have kind of small extension of kind of looking as a spoiler here, yes? And of course you have, because bigger angle, you see much more this base, because this is coming from the main body of the car, the cabin, yes, and after is kind of narrower to the top of the roof. So of course you have some other elements over there and there, but that is kind of, less important at this stage. So what I would suggest you to do, the ratio of proportion of the side of the car. That means the profile of the car. Yes. So how many we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Yes. And 1/3. So what we can start with the full squares, yes, to sketch it. So you see, the 3/4 view is the best view in perspective to draw any object, yes, because you can do much more shortening, spaces, much more like that, yes, and the profile and the front, they're not very exciting, views of the car. You have to always have this kind of 3/4 kind of, projection, either from the lower case or from the top. You can actually play with this car in order to draw very well this kind of car. You have to do many sketches of different kind of views. You play with it, yes. You can make it at least 30 sketches different with this car, yes, from different angles of view, from the back, from the front, and so on. So I would suggest you to use this method. Anyway, in my book, which I just published last year, yeah, you can actually have it, all the processes, how to really drive the cars and everything, and other, of course, objects. In this book you have actually everything explained. So we're going to use this method, which I explained actually in the book, in order to get this, a car approximately, its forms. So of course, this is, we're not going to go to super kind of execution of the car because it would take us a little bit long, but I'm going to show you how to study this, yes, how to approach that. And another thing before we start drawing is also to see, proportions of this front of the car. So look, this is going to be, if we start from the left, you have here approximately, accident. Yeah, and so you see here you have approximately 1 square, yes, approximately somewhere there, yes. Then another you have there, and this part is approximately half of it. So we know that to those proportions which we already know here, the front is 2 squares and half, yes, and the same going to be also from the back, and the cabin is smaller. So knowing all these things, yes, all these nuances, we can start actually sketching this car, yeah? So, sorry. So let's go. So as I always, I suggest you to start with very easy forms. So this is going to be kind of prism, yes? And we know its proportions. So let's go first with the kind of, parallel lines. So we start with certain angle. You see, this pilot is dry, so it's good for me because I can kind of use it, these lines, very light, and they don't gonna kind of, if I do something after, it's not kind of gonna affect me too much. So vertical corner, so this corner I indicate as here. And look, I'm gonna start with 1 square, but 1 square going to be approximately somewhere like that, isn't it? So I have to have them how many? 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Yes, because this adding this part. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is the half. And after I'm going to extend a little bit 1/3 over there. So if I go this way, so we're going to have, of course, intuitively you can do this, yeah, 3, for example, 4, yeah, and extend a little bit, yeah, you're going to have approximately, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.5, yes? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and here is going to be half. If I go that way, I know that is the half approximately there, okay? So this is the kind of the main side of the car from one side. And now I need 1/3 to extend this for this part, yes? For this part. okay? So I see it a little bit differently than you do, because I am trying to keeping as for me as I draw, but normally it would be something like that. Anyway, so let's go. So I need here 1/3. So I divide this square vertically in 3 parts, and this 1/3 I extended there. So now I have the entire side of the car. Yes, entire side of the car, sketching. Now look, the upper top is here, yeah, is over there, is the as the yellow line goes, yes, the aerobatic finishes. So look, this wheel starts approximately like 1/4 from the top, yes, because if we go here, it's going to be 1, 2, or maybe 1/4, because this is the black line which you don't see it, you see, which makes this actually, if I go like this, or you can see very well. You see this space over there? So it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, and 4 to this. So 1/4, I have to go down. So now I'm going to divide this part. This part is in half, and another half is in another half. So now I know that the square for the wheel is here. And I extend 1/4 because I took it away from the top here. So I go a little bit 1/4 down, and now I have the square for the wheel. And the same I do, of course, at the end. Yes. So I had here half of the square, so I take another half of the square from there. Yes. And I have the full square at the end of this wheel. Yeah. And now I just extend this position, just parallel lines. So I have here the other square, and I extended 1/4. So I'm going to have kind of 2 squares. They're the same because I'm drawing in axonometry. So the sizes of those are kind of the same. Yeah. And now, of course, that's going to be the body. Yeah, this line of the body here, approximately. And there's going to be this kind of, side there. Yeah, of course, I'm going to have some kind of adjustment after to do, but. And now we go with the other part. So I choose some kind of angle. Let's say it's going to be something around those lines. And I have already the end of it. So I know that another parallel line should be somewhere here, isn't it? And I need how many squares? 1. Yes, so it's going to be approximately here. Another is going to be approximately here. And I need half. Half is this. So I add it there. So now I have the entire prism of the base of the body of the car. Yeah. And now parallel, and try to do parallel as well here. Yeah. Parallel as well here. So those are parallel, those are parallel. Of course, in perspective, this box would be much more dynamic. Yes. So if I would like to show you here, for example, so in perspective, I would have the same proportions, but my car would be much more, dynamic. Yes, it's 3, 4.5. So it's going to be somewhere there. So we see this box, this prism, and the same going to be here. I have 1, 2.5. So some, a little bit more somewhere there. Yeah. So I'm going to have also much more dynamic form, isn't it? If I would like to draw this in perspective, and also here I would have this that way. Yes. So the body would be, in comparison to that one, much more dynamic than this one. Yes. Here I'm just going to verify the angle here. Yeah, it looks okay. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So now we have this body. So at the same time, we can actually start drawing the wheels, and we can do it that way. That connect the diagonals. Yes, you have the middle. Connect the diagonals. You have the middle. Yes, over there. And now, of course, perpendicularly to this, you would have this angle of the ellipses here. Yeah, because you want to represent the wheels. Yes, so we have it. And the same is here. Yeah, so that's the axe, major axe. There's the minor axe. So you're going to have again the same. Nothing going to change here. Yeah, but in perspective, you will have different because if I go here, for example, for the wheel, I forgot to extend this a little bit, but doesn't matter. If I go here for the wheel, yeah, and I have to go a little bit lower, yeah, it's going to be there, yeah, and the same is going to be here, over there, and I go lower, so I'm going to have this approximately here, yeah, like this. So you see, I have middle, but I have different axes. That's one axe, and here is another axe, yes? So perpendicular to this is going to be that, and perpendicular to this is going to be this. You see, different angles. Yes, this is much more vertical. This is much more horizontally kind of directed. So here, the tire going to have approximately this form, but here is going to be much more the ellipses. You see, much more vertical, because I would like to draw this in perspective. So that's what's going to kind of change. Yes. So you're going to have always in perspective when you draw much more dynamic forms. Yes. So if I would like to have the same proportion of the side, of course, here I would have to edit half of this square to the front. So now my front is going to be approximately here. Yeah. Okay. A little bit, longer, isn't it? Yes. And much more dynamic. So let's continue with this one. Now look, you see this frame starts approximately very close to this. You can do this intuitively. So somewhere there, start the base for the window there. Yeah, the front window. So you do parallel line this way. Yeah. Okay. And now, if you extend vertically the lines, yes, vertically the lines, yeah, it's going to be easy to do the angles of this top of the roof, the cabin. So now we know, look, if you take from here to there is approximately three quarter, yes, because there's one, so it's 4 times. If you divide this part vertically in 4 times, as we did, yeah, over here. So the 3/4, it's this spaces, 1, 2, 3, yeah. You extend it up, so it's like 1, 2, 3. So somewhere there, yeah, somewhere there, yeah. Okay. You have it this, and you go after. Once you find out one, you can kind of gently, do another prism on top of this prism. Yes, and now, however, you have to find these angles. So first, you're going to connect the corners. Yes, corners, one here, one there. Yes, and now we have to go a little bit inside. So basically, if you have the corner here, you have to go inside that way, as you have the connections of the corners. Yes, so if I go inside, for example, little here, because it's not the large angle. I have the angle approximately less or more that way. Yeah. Okay. So of course the back of this roof is going to be somewhere there. To this, of course, I have to add this spoiler. Yes. So well, I can actually implement here kind of ellipse. Yes. And I can use this exterior line of this ellipse, to here, and I know that here is a little bit smaller and here is again a little bit larger. So I have this kind of, spoiler behind this roof, but it's not the end. Actually, I did it too fast because it should be done later anyway. So we have this corner there, and now from there, yeah, we have to go a little bit more because we have 45 degree. Look, this and this is approximately 45 degree. So you have this point there, yes? So you will go, the front would be here, and the other part of the front will be somewhere there, yeah? Okay? So if I go from here as well, you see, I get the spoiler too fast. Okay, so I should have this, and the spoiler should, actually, I should put this, sometimes, you rush, and I should put here the spoiler, yeah? The spoiler would go rather, this way, somewhere like that, yeah? And furthermore, here you have a little bit rounded this side, yes, you have a little bit rounded this side, yes, okay? And you have, of course, rounded where? From the front, yes, you have also roundness. So you're going to have kind of, you see, this kind of roundnesses, yes, over there. And of course, now you will kind of go and just simply connect those. So you're going to have also here, if you do these bars, yeah, if you do these bars, so you're going to have this bar, of course, going approximately like that. And you have what? You have another roundness there, yes? Yes, the window, yes, over there, yeah, okay. And also here you have a little bit something kind of rounder, yeah, and you have this kind of back over there, and with the back of this body of the car and so on, isn't it? Yeah. This is, of course, brief sketching. I am just showing you how to construct. You have to, in order to draw very well cars, you have to learn to construct them. And you have to start constructing them really with essential forms, yes? So now you will have this kind of, mirrors there. So the other going to be somewhere there, yeah? We're going to see them there. Okay, less or more. And now, of course, we have the front. And as you see, the front, look, in the front over there, the bumper part is also rounded, you see? It's kind of rounded, isn't it? Yes? So you will kind of put there some kind of ellipse, yes? And you will kind of round it up a little bit, this part here, yeah? And it's not only that, because you will also have to round it a little bit, the front of this car, isn't it? Yeah? So it has to kind of round it up, isn't it? And the same going to be there, yeah? And what is else? You have the reflectors. They are approximately in some kind of halfway between this part and this part. You see, if I take this part, this line, you see this space and this space, yeah? They kind of, oh, look, here you can see it very well. This space and that space, they kind of the same. So when you do this, you would have to kind of also, do this kind of line approximately. We have less or more the same space here and there, yeah? So, of course, you have some kind of other nuances here. You will go with this part going this way, and you have, of course, this kind of round ups here for this body. You have some kind of black part from the lower part. It goes this way, yeah, and this kind of, protectors of the wells and so on. You will kind of go the kind of plastic ones over there. And you have, of course, the tires, yeah, the tires, yes. So you do the tires you're going to have here, and you have also there, and you have the middle of this, yes, the middle of those, things here, yeah. You have it less or more. And now you have, look, somewhere from there, you have this kind of arms, and look how they go. Angularly. They're not parallel, yes, like this. They go angularly, so you can lift up the hood, and kind of dynamic of the hood. And anyways, profile, why? Because the air is coming nicely and so on. So I would have something like this here, and of course something like that over there, isn't it? Yes. And then of course you go down to the, of course, down to the bumper part, and you just kind of, that is one part, yes, and the entire bumper is kind of from one side to the other, something like that. And what you have here, of course, you have these reflectors, yes, the reflectors of the car. And also here you have another one, a little bit smaller, yeah, because this you can see much more in front of you and the other less. So and after you see this, the doors here, so somewhere there you have the end of the door, so you just kind of go there, yeah, and you're going to have somewhere here the frame. And of course you have to adjust a little bit the back because it's a little bit much more cut off and so on, yes, something around those lines. So the roof actually, it's even smaller a little bit here, and this spoiler going to be also smaller, yes. So you just, if you want to kind of make this basic lines much more better, you take the fresher fine liner and you try on the top of it now, to make it the lines much more kind of, stronger, yes, for the car, yeah. So just kind of go there and kind of make it stronger in there. And of course here would be having kind of, a little bit this roofing going this way, and the spoiler will come out from there, huh? So it's kind of going to be a little bit this way, yes. Okay, it's a little bit too much space here, but anyway, I don't want to change now too much. And we go there, and we go there, yeah. And we have now this part, yes, the wheels, yes. So we kind of just go with the wheels, adjust a little bit certain things. We go here, and we have the base of the car, isn't it? And we go again, we have another wheel, yeah, which is kind of visible here and there, yeah, over here. And you have, of course, the kind of, base of it. And this is actually, here, if you look go with here, you see the bumper, and it goes kind of inside, you see? Inside, yes? Inside. So you're going to have this kind of inside part here going that way. And you want to have some kind of other details. This, of course, will take us a little bit much more, nuances to do it kind of nicely and so on. But this just kind of brief, constructions, how to construct really, this the kind of this car, less and more, as it looks like. Yes, frame here. Of course, you see some kind of mast there, and so on. You're going to see some kind of maybe seats. We don't see it here because it's kind of dim. You have the other frame over there approximately. You have this over here, somewhere there, yeah. So we have some kind of details which you have to kind of, push it a little bit with the pencil, not pencil, sorry, but with the pilot, forms. And this is a little bit much more kind of sharpening here and there, yeah. And the other going to be red, just like the visible over there. But anyway, you have something of this kind, yes, okay. As a car, there's some kind of bossing here, so you can kind of make it a little bit some kind of additional lines here and so on. And of course, you can go and make it a little bit much more. This you can put some kind of and shadows. The entire side of the car over there, you can be a little bit in shadow and so on. Yes, you can have some kind of reflections in the roof on this part and so on. There's many things you can actually do with it. But in order to kind of briefly conclude, of course, you can push it a little bit, lines there, yeah. You're going to have some kind of, dark part visible here. You're going to have the tires a little bit much more darker here, a little bit there. You have this kind of, around those tires, black things here, and the tires are actually black, yes. So you just can do it. You can do some kind of, this kind of nuances in the wheels there. So here also in the wheel here and there, yeah. So you can kind of go and really step by step, to make it better and make it better. Yes, as you kind of go and explore a little bit much more. You have here, you have the handle, yeah, over there. Yeah, you have here is for the gas. Some of there is something for the gas, but it should be a little bit, higher maybe here and there. So anyway, there is some kind of nuances you can still, work on those, as you actually, play and sketch this car, to kind of closer and closer to the really, realistic kind of forms and details of it. Yes, so you can kind of really, sorry, every time. And here you have, listen, you see some kind of bossing, there's a little bit up front and so on. So there are many nuances, many details you can still kind of work with it. Yes, and but you can also at the end, for fun, you can actually make it a little bit much more interesting when you kind of add some water. This is not the right brush. Just a second. I just for the small details. This is much more larger. Yeah. So you can kind of go and with a little bit water, yeah, you can make kind of, you see, additional effects, to your car. Yeah. You can put this, dim a little bit much more the windows there. This part is kind of black, yeah, so you can push it. Here you have black, so you can kind of push it. Yeah, you have black, this kind of plastic frames around the wheels. Yeah, and of course you can go with this, you can go a little bit there. So you can just kind of, play with those a little bit, kind of give a little bit much more kind of form to it and so on. Yeah, so you just kind of go with the water a little bit, you can make some kind of, you see the spoiler there, yeah, there's the roof over there. You have this part of the roof there visible, yes, something along those lines. And of course, you have the desk, you have this, you know, some kind of reflections here and there. And of course, you're going to have the wheel, this kind of reflectors there, yeah, and you have some kind of, kind of, nuances here for this entire car. And the bumper, of course, is much more, darker, and you can put actually even more kind of, you see, around this car, yeah, you can put some kind of shading there, so it's going to be kind of seated, nicely, on your sketch, and you can kind of, wipe it out. You see, with the water, you can wipe it out, the kind of construction mistakes. Yes, you can kind of, may correct them a little bit here and there. Yeah. Okay. So if you take a little bit much more time here and there, you may do much more detailed work. Yes, but it's not about this. I'm just trying to kind of, and show you how you should actually play with kind of understanding the form of the car you want to sketch, and everything. So you just have to kind of, all these nuances with the water and so on, you can do it. Okay. And for fun, actually, and some kind of sketchy effects, yeah, artistic kind of sketchy effects. So this is, of course, sketch, very brief, of this car, how to construct it and everything. But I would suggest you, for example, try also from the other side to sketch. And for example, if I take another page, so let's just briefly sketch also with this kind of pilot, a little bit from different point of view. So let's take from the back a little bit. Yes, let's take a little bit this entire form of the car from the back. So, well, as you can see, we can maybe try to sketch this from this kind of angle. Okay, so we know already the proportions. So now I'm going to do a little bit in perspective. So I'm going to make these lines a little bit kind of conversion already. Yes, and this is going to be my corner. So it's the back of the car. Yeah, and I go kind of in perspective, two vanishing points perspective. Yes, approximately something like that. And let's go. It's one square, yes, another square, and third square, and fourth square. And I said 1, 2, 3, 4.5, yes. So 4, and I'm going to put it half there, yeah, because, yeah, so that fits, so it fits to my paper. And here 1/3. 1/3 is going to be small, so it's somewhere there. Okay. And now I have in perspective the front of the car, and the back of the car is going to be somewhere here, isn't it? And from there, of course, I have 1 square and 2.5 squares, isn't it? So if I go in perspective here, 1, 2.5, so it's going to be approximately here. So you see, my box actually going to be looking in perspective of this Mini Cooper, less or more like that. Yes? Yeah. Of course, once you master this kind of sketching, you're going to have any color you look at, you will have this kind of perception of this car already, so you don't have to draw as I do here to show you, but you will right away go and draw the forms as they are, yeah, because you're going to have, the kind of better understanding, yes, how the cars goes and how it is, yeah, and everything. So you will actually draw right away, as the car is and so on. So you will kind of have better understanding of this, entire car, the lights here and so on. So you will draw right away that way after, yes? Yeah, but first you have to, of course, I'm not going to draw entire the car, but anyway, you will have better understanding of this car and so on, how it's going to be, yeah. And from here, the spoiler is less visible, just small antenna. So you see, you will kind of build this car right away, drawing it, because you were going to understand how it works. But before you do this, you have to start with this kind of form, isn't it? So 1/3 is here. So let's do first the wheels is always the best way to start with. Yeah. Because once you have the wheels, you know exactly which part is where, and you can align them vertically. So another square there, I'm gonna right away extend a little bit vertically these parts for the wheels. Just a second, I'm missing here one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So it's going to be a little bit longer, yeah, something like that. Okay. So, and now I need, this is the front of the car, so I need 1/4 of it. This is 1/4. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, to somewhere there, I'm going to start my rectangle, my square, and the square is going to be here. Yeah. And it's 1/4 from the top, so it's somewhere there. And I extend the 1/4, yes. And I extend the 1/4, yeah. So I have this and that. And now, of course, my axes are different. Yes, over there. And I'm going to have a little bit this axe here for the middle, yeah. Oops, sorry. And another going to be a little bit there. So my perpendicular angle is somewhere like this here, and here is a little bit much more vertical. So of course, if I would like to put right away the wheels, less or more, yeah, so I'm going to have approximately this, yes. And I have the base of the car, of course, and here I'm going to have the front of the car, and that's going to be my back of the car, which is very narrowish here, yeah. So now the cabin. The cabin, we know that it starts approximately from here. It starts somewhere from that line. And I have what? 45 degrees. So it's approximately like this, the angle of the front window, and the other is going to be a little bit less like this. And now I know that I have to go a little bit, yes. The up is 3/4, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this 1, 3, I brace up, so it's approximately somewhere there, yeah, but in perspective. And I go there, yeah, but in perspective, and I go with this angle there approximately, yeah, because it's different angle here and there, yeah, and I just kind of go there, also in perspective, so it's going to be something like this, and here I'm going to have, of course, a rounded part, and now if you go with the body, you're going to have this kind of, you see, front of the car visible, yeah, because it's kind of rounded, and it goes that way, isn't it? Yeah. So of course, you're going to have the side of the roof a little bit rounded, yes. Over there is going to be a little bit rounded, yes. And here you will see the back of it, yeah, a little bit rounded, and the front is a little bit rounded, isn't it? And here, of course, you have the window that's a little bit rounded here, and so on. And here you have a little bit the back, a little bit kind of larger here. You see the back part, you have a little bit rounded as well for the window. So you just go now here and there, yeah. And you're going to kind of, and from here you have this kind of flashlights, not flashlights, but the, flashes, over there in the car. So it's a little bit rounded here. And then you're going to have the bumper, yes. Also a little bit kind of rounded here, the bumper, yes, when you go that way, yeah. So of course you're going to have all these details, all that details, and a little bit here. We forgot the mirror. So there you're going to have this kind of mirror visible, yeah, a little bit on the top over there. The other you don't see it, of course, and you're going to see the doors, yeah. The doors go approximately less or more that way, and you have the black board from the plastic. You have this here, and exactly from there you will have approximately the bar of this side, yeah, over there, yeah. So you're going to have something around those lines, a little bit here, yeah, okay. So we're going to have something around those lines, briefly sketching, of this car, yeah. So, and this kind of exercise is going to be good to do it as much as you can, because you don't care really about the beauty or kind of perfect elaboration. You just kind of sketch. You learn to actually, make the car, construct the car, yeah, approximately in the shapes and the proportions as it is, less or more, isn't it? Yeah, so you go after there, you have this, sorry, smoothing the paper is the line, you have another kind of, stuff here and there. Yeah, so you can see a little bit the front over there. You will see a little bit this part, this part. Anyway, you can see some kind of nuances here regarding the body, and also here the roof. You go and you have this kind of windshield there. You have this part. You have this little bit kind of rounded, isn't it? Because all this car is kind of a little bit, you know. Here's the corner. You have the kind of handle there. Yeah, on something line of the doors. Kind of is like this. Yeah, how it is. I'm not sorry. It is like this and like this. Well, anyway, something along those lines. So, and you have the back one. The spoiler, we don't see it very well from there. So we just see that there's something. The antenna going to be somewhere there. Yeah, and less or more. And you have, of course, the back window. Yeah, a little bit here, much more kind of nuances. You have the registration plaque here somewhere, yeah, over there. And of course, you have the bumper, which goes approximately like this and raises up there and so on, yeah. So you have kind of, you know, much more details there. Of course, through this, you will see the other maybe inside of the car, what is happening there, maybe seat, maybe something, yeah, over there, maybe a little bit the board, yes, over there. So we'll have some kind of stuff, you will see that. Yeah? So anyway, and now, again, I will take a little bit this. So if you will draw realistically this car, you will see you can make it kind of, you know, the car a little bit, you know, nuances here. If you would draw it kind of much more, you know, realistically after, yes, so we can kind of go and make it, you know, a little bit fun, yeah, with it. And you're going to have, you see, some kind of forms of the car, you know, much more realistically looking, yes, with few lines. But before you get to this point, you will have to kind of practice a little bit here and there, yeah, to make this kind of, you know, nice kind of, you know, brief sketches without too much, you know, trouble there, yeah. Just go with the sketches here and there, and you can make it a little bit kind of water here and there, even on the base over there, and so on. And you will kind of, here you can actually, you know, clean the lines, whatever was there. So if you put more water, you can actually get rid of those, yes. Okay, here and there, you have this wheel, yeah, over there. Yeah, you can have something, you know, there and there. So just kind of artistic kind of representation, less or more of this kind of car. And you can have fun to just have, you know, this kind of, you know, forms, yeah, visible there and there, yeah, over there, yeah. So you can kind of go and have fun to do this kind of, you know, there's the mirror there, for example, and so on, yeah. So this kind of sketches, not really very elaborated or nothing, but there are sketches kind of constructing the body. We're going to draw this kind of car again from different angle, but in another video, when I'm going to show you a little bit much more elaborated, how to draw the much more elaborated, and I'm going to use rather much more pencil than this kind of medium like a pilot and the you know and the markers, because markers, of course, you can, if you do sketch with the pencil, yes, you can after do beautiful lines with markers. So we're going to do this in another video, but for now is just try to take any car you have in your disposition, doesn't have to be that one, and try to apply this kind of method. So start with the boxes. First, go to the profile, verify the proportions here, so you're going to know how the side, you can construct one side, go to the back, check it out, how many squares you have for the base body. First, start always with the base body, and the cabin you add later, because most cabins you're going to have always this angular part, and the roofing going to be much more smaller in comparison to the main body. And even if you look at the front, you see the body is also having angles here and there, yeah. So this kind of forms you can really nicely, you know, elaborate, so you can kind of understand that when you have the front of the car, for example, let's say you have kind of we have 2 squares and half, yes. So now you know that in this case, the front is a little bit rounder and it goes inside, isn't it? The same going to be there and it goes inside. And now it's a bit rounder here, isn't it? Yes, you have the bumper, yeah, bumper part, and you're gonna have here the reflectors, yes, over there, yeah, visible, and you're gonna have it, the other part of the car going that way, and here it goes a little bit that way. You have the side of the car, yeah, so just kind of goes the side of the car, and here you're gonna have, of course, the wheels of the car, yes, a little bit there, and of course, there from there we'll see the other on the windows and everything, and some other details there. So this is going to be really, in order to do this right, you have to kind of try to first, digest the bodies of the car. Doesn't matter which car you're going to, draw, you have to first study it a little bit and before you get very comfortable with. So that's all for today, and see you next time.